man, I can't believe they just did my boy like this. Phreak, what are you doing, bro? Stop balancing the game. You're ruining the game for everyone else. You just sent Cassante to the Shadow Realm. He's unplayable. Out of meta. His win rate's gonna plummet to 22%. What the fuck, dude? So in patch 1320, right, it's gonna ship out a rework for Cassante, but it's essentially a clusterfuck of nerfs to its entire kit. Now, I myself played Cassante for like 800 games during split 1 of the season, and my peak was GM 870 LP. My account decayed to D1 because I stopped playing, because the game's dog shit. I'm just saying that I know this champ's kit all around. The most important nerf is removing the ability to tap W. Instead, they added a 0.65 second minimum charge time, so you can't instantly W anymore. Now, let me tell you why this is such a big deal. Okay, so now there's two ways you could use Cassante's W. The first way is to charge your W, and it will push your opponent in the direction you want. So I go charge W like this. It'll push him in that direction, or I could stand behind them, charge W, and it'll push them back. The second way you could use W is to tap W. So you could do something like this, or like this. Tap W is a very important mechanic as it's a way for you to start an engagement. So you could do something like, let me see. You could do like a E tap W, and that's how you can engage a target. Or you could flash W, another way to engage a target. One application of this mechanic is that you could use it to catch your opponents off guard and kidnap them under your tower. So I could do like a E tap W, and it'll bring them towards the tower like that. Or you could also flash W, and it'll do the same thing like this. Either way, it's a very common mechanic for Cassante players and how they can outplay their opponent. Okay, so now with the new changes, Cassante can't tap W anymore. So you have a minimum 0.65 second charge time for his W. So you have to hold it like this and release it like that. So you can't instantly W anymore like this. With the new patch, you can't do this anymore. You have to hold it, and then after that, after waiting 0.65 seconds, you'll release it. So that's a problem, because if you do this, it's gonna give your enemy a window to flash out. So whatever this mechanic with kidnapping your opponent under tower, you can't do it anymore. They're just flash out or use an ability to escape. Like, and here's another thing: you can't start a good engagement anymore with tab W. Like if I did E W, I had to hold the W, and your opponent's gonna read that and they're just back off. It's really frustrating. You also can't flash tap W anymore. Like you have to hold your W, and still that makes the champ really clunky to play. To compensate for this, they increase the damage reduction, increase the damage of the W by adding a flat amount and scaling based off resistances, and increase the stun duration to 1.25 seconds. Now, this basically means that landing your W on someone is going to be rewarding, but it removes skill expression from the ability, since all you have to do is be near your opponent and hope they don't flash out. Honestly, I think this is a pretty big design flaw to Cassante's identity, since he's all about skill expression. You can't just up the numbers on this W and hope it works out. It just doesn't work that way. Here's another bullshit problem. They removed the ability to buffer your flash during your third Q. So if I do this, and then I could do something like this. Like, that's a really common mechanic for Cassante players if they want to land their third Q on someone, but they're a bit farther away than the range of your third Q. Like, why would you remove that? It's skill expression using your flash in combination with your third Q. Like let's look at Yasuo and Yone. They both can flash during their third Qs, so why shouldn't Cassante? Riot thinks that Cassante having the ability to buffer flash during his third Q is unhealthy for the game since he could catch anyone off guard, saying there's no counterplay. So by the same logic, shouldn't you also do the same for Yasuo and Yone? Like it just doesn't make any sense. They made a bunch of other changes to his kit, so I'm just gonna talk about some changes that I find to be huge nerfs to his kit overall. So they made his ultimate go from dealing physical damage to magic damage and adding an AP ratio. This doesn't make sense since the only way for Cassante to get AP in a game is from getting Baron buff, but otherwise this is a huge nerf since they also lowered the wall damage portion by a lot. So if you manage to line up your opponent and the wall portion of the ultimate goes through, then you don't get reward for that since the damage is lowered by a lot. They also added attack speed during his all-out form. This doesn't make sense since both his Q and his E are auto resets. The main source of his damage during his all-out form is being able to spam Q auto, so adding attack speed really wouldn't make sense in this kit. However, the most impressive change to Cassante's all-out form is the removal of resistance scalings from his passive. So before, he would have a flat 35% and an additional 20% of his armor and magic resistance. Like a full build Cassante would have had around a 100% damage increase to his passive. Now, the passive damage during his all-out form is reduced to a flat 35% across all levels. This is a huge nerf to Cassante's damage since like his passive during his all-out form was the main source of his damage, but now that's gone. Like he wouldn't benefit from building tank items anymore. So in my opinion, this single change will completely nerf Cassante's all-out form. Like Cassante's identity during his all-out form is that he'll dish out a bunch of damage, but now it wouldn't be possible anymore. Like Phreak, Cassante is incredibly bad right now. Like an Emerald and above, he's ranked 58 out of 59 with the 47% win rate. He's already bad. Like if you pick him, you would lose more often. So why do you need to ship out these changes and gut him even further? Like he already struggles against most bruisers in the top lane and goes even with the tanks in the top lane as well. Like if you want to counter Cassante, just pick Gwen or Fiora or Renekton or anyone else in that matter. He gets countered so hard because his kit, like it may okay. So he does pretty good in pro play, but in solo queue he's absolute garbage. Please, if you ship out these changes, he's gonna go from a 47% win rate down to a 2% win rate. So please, don't do my boy like this. Leave him as he is.